Hi everyone, how's everyone? I hope that you're doing well. We have halted the Infinite Lifetime Sutra for 2 weeks because I was a little busy. There was some irregularities with my life at the moment, so today it is a little bit more stabilized. So let's continue with the Infinite Lifetime Sutra. I'm Angelina, your host. So in the previous episodes, we were talking about the 10 great vows of Samantabhadra Bodhisattva, 普贤菩萨十大愿王. So we have completed 7 vows. So today we'll look at the 8th vow. The 8th vow is 长随佛学. 长随佛学 means I vow to follow the teachings of Buddha. Okay, 长随, I will follow continuously, right? I will always follow. Okay, so what is 长随佛学? A lot of people, when they talk about learning the Buddha Dharma, right? Learning the Buddha's teachings, what they know is probably the reliance on the Buddhist text. The immediate thought would be somebody sitting in the temple opening up the sutra, and then usually it's the monk and things like this, right? You will be thinking about, when we're talking about learning, most of us with immediate thoughts will be about somebody reading some book. Okay, open the book and then you start reading, you start memorizing and start understanding. That is not wrong. Okay, 长随佛学, when you look at the learning, the very first way of learning is of course through the sutras. And from the sutras itself, after one have already learned from the sutra, the other way of learning is actually by practice, right? So when we're talking about 长随佛学, it is not just theory but also the practical. So what is in the practical? Okay, when we look at the Buddha Dharma, a lot of times you are looking at the like noble eightfold path, the Four Noble Truths, especially you're looking at the different kinds of the 10 bodhisattva ways, right? The 10 wholesome ways. And there are so many things that a lot of people think that, oh, you learn it, you memorize it, and then at any one time at all, I'll just have to be mindful. Okay, being rightfully mindful that, oh, this is what, and this is what, and this is what. Another kind of people will probably be more towards the meditation. Okay, some people think that, especially when you have read the Theravada Buddhism text, a lot of time they will tell you, okay, the routine of the Buddha is very uniform, it's very standard. So he wakes up in the morning and then he goes into meditation, then only he will get dressed and then go for alms food, and then he comes back to preach the Dharma, and then he goes into meditation again and things like this, right? So a lot of people, they will think that 长随佛学 means sitting in meditation. Okay, so if everything is about just meditation, then does it mean that other people who don't meditate are not following the Buddha's way? Okay, you can't put that as the definition either, because meditation or the reading of the sutras or even the chanting and everything, they are methods of learning. Okay, they are methods of bringing your focus, they are methods of cleansing your thoughts so that your mind become clear. Okay, remember, every time when I talk about Buddhism, what Buddhism is, okay, the learnings teach us to remove the layers and layers of wrong teachings, of what I will call as pollution that is covering our pure heart. Okay, our pure heart, you can imagine it like an onion. Okay, those of you, if you peel onions before it come to the very end, there's about, and inside there you can see a tiny seed, right? So when we talk about our Buddha heart, our Bodhi heart, okay, it is that seed. Okay, but the seed is being covered by layers and layers of those things which we call the onion, right? So the learning, the reading of the sutras, the chanting, the meditation, every single thing is actually practices for you to intentionally focus to remove the layers. So, what about those conditions where you are not in meditation? What about the times when you are not holding a sutra? What about the times when you are not chanting a mantra? Right? So, does it mean that you're not studying? That means you are not following this vow, right? You talk about always following the Buddha's teachings. So, what is always following the Buddha's teachings? You have to remember, okay, when we talk about right mindfulness in terms of Buddhism, right mindfulness is not just about sitting in meditation. Right mindfulness is about your awareness, you being totally aware of your decisions, you being totally aware of the people around you, and you being totally aware that you don't need to always give a reaction. Okay, you are totally aware that you can always be an observer. All right, when you sit in meditation, it is teaching you how to become an observer. Okay, how do people meditate? Okay, when people sit or stand or walk in meditation or lie down in meditation, what they are aware of is that they are aware of the happenings that are in the body. Okay, when one of the most popular way of meditation is the Mahasi Sayadaw's Vipassana meditation. Okay, Vipassana is knowledge meditation. Okay, wisdom meditation. So with this form of meditation, you eventually gain the wisdom. Okay, that's why you read in the Theravada Buddhist books, you will see that people go into meditation and then they will be able to go into the first stage of sainthood, the second stage of sainthood. So, what is it that they experience that they become all these different stages of sainthood? Okay, did they obtain any superpowers? Okay, you just, if you have never meditated before, when people tell you about this, you'll be imagining like watching those ancient Chinese drama, all right? Oh, they sit and then after that, whatever they do to themselves, and then suddenly they level up like you're playing a game. Okay, that is that is the attainment, right? But in Buddhism, the realization. Okay, like for example, when you sit in meditation, you may realize that your legs go numb. Right? You may realize that there is an insect itch at your any part of your body. Okay, you may realize that suddenly something is happening to your body, but just because you're sitting in meditation, you are totally aware of it, you are observing it like a third party, but you are not going to react to it. Your only reaction, like for example, you are starting to feel the numbness in your on your leg. Okay, because when you sit in meditation, your blood flow isn't going to circulate much, so you start to feel the tingling feeling that will tell you your blood is not circulating, so you're going to feel the numbness in your leg. So in meditation, you will feel your reaction to it is only to put a label. Okay, if you follow the Mahasi Sayadaw's meditation, the core of this meditation, the varies, one thing that you have to do in this meditation is to observe the breathing in and breathing out of the body, but not to your chest, not through your nose, but in your diaphragm. Okay, what you notice in your diaphragm is that when you inhale, your diaphragm rises. Okay, because the air goes in, so that's why your diaphragm rises. And then when you exhale, your diaphragm deflates. Okay, and the air goes out, it deflates. So Mahasi Sayadaw Vipassana meditation, you observe the rising and the deflation of your stomach. Okay, the moment you feel like there's a numbness to your leg, you are aware of it. but you will not do anything. Normal people, right? For example, if normally what you do is that if there's an itch to your finger, you will go and scratch it. There's an itch to your head, you will go and scratch it. It's like normal reaction, right? But over here in meditation, your only thing the only thing you need to do is to observe the abdomen rising and falling with every breath that you take, rising and falling. And suddenly there's an itch. So your focus moves over to the itch, and you know that it is an itch. You give it a label that it is an itch. So how do you label? Itch, 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 itch. Regardless of it become more intense or it become lesser, it's still itch. Okay, it's just that one word, itch. And then you will notice that if you do not respond to the itch, it goes away. Same thing when you talk about the numbness. After you have um, concentrated, being mindful of the numbness, you you will go like numb, 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 numb. Okay, numb to a certain point, it starts to prick. Okay, so the sense you can label it as a sensation prick, right? You label it according to what you feel at that very moment, to whichever part of the body it is. But you just focus on that one thing. The the longer you focus, okay, after a while, after you have focused, it will suddenly go away. Okay, so the moment it goes away, like the itch on your head has gone away, the itch on your body has gone away, or whatever, the moment the itch has gone, then you realize that you're very mindful that it is gone, and you bring your focus back to your diaphragm. Your abdomen rising, your abdomen falling, rise and fall. Again, you go back to your rise and fall. So from this practice, okay, you learn two things. Okay, one is that you'll be able to focus. You'll be able to do nothing, okay, except to focus on that one particular thing. Okay, to be really into one target at a time. This is something that a lot of people, especially now, we need, because even at work we are doing multitasking. Okay, and the multitasking is like answering an email at the same time while you are looking at something, or you're on the phone with somebody and then you are still typing out something for someone else, that kind of multiple work that you're doing. You're eating but you're not really eating, you're texting somebody while you're eating, that when you finish your meal you don't really realize that you finished your meal. Okay, you don't really experience the taste of the food. You don't really know what the food tastes like because you were too busy answering the messages, or you're too busy scrolling your Facebook, scrolling your IG, scrolling whatever there is. Okay, even now in the roads you see people in cars. Okay, they're supposed to be driving. In the past, when we are driving, the only thing that we do is probably just listen to the radio. Okay, but our eyes are on the road and our hands are on the steering wheel. And today we see that people actually watch movies from their handphones that is being attached to a phone holder on the dashboard of the car, and that all they're doing while they're driving. Okay, so your attention span becomes lesser and lesser. Your focus becomes weaker and weaker by the day. And it comes to the point when, if let's say I just ask you to, you're here, come, just relax and rest, just sit there. People no longer able to just sit there and then relax. Okay, the moment they sit down, they see that there's nothing wrong, then they just whip out their phones and look at the phones and then be fed with all kinds of entertainment or information, whatever they're watching, into their restless minds. Okay, this situation becomes worse as our world progress, because the entertainment becomes more and more engaging. The people have found the formula for the audience to engage and become glued to the screen for hours. You imagine you waste how many hours that you wasted on the just watching some mindless Facebook videos, some TikTok. These days when I hold up my phone and then I'm looking at some kind of news or anything, something cute maybe, all I ever see was this popular song, okay, by a beautiful Korean lady singing with an American singer, and then it's like every single video that I'm seeing after the every third or fourth video is always somebody else dancing to this song. Okay, they are showing off the dance moves to this song. Um, yeah, and the song is like there is this particular set of words that is very mind-boggling. It just hypnotizes you into just thinking. It gets stuck in your head, right? And then what happened is that every single video looks almost the same, but still, the algorithm on the phone tells you that, oh, you finished watching the first one, so you are going to watch the second one that I'm going to feed you with the same kind of content, another set of people dancing to the same song. And then because you didn't scroll away, you were watching, I will send you another one because I will presume that you like this very much. Okay, this is the AI learning of your phone. So your attention span becomes lesser and lesser. Your layers of the onions becomes more and more and more, right? So are you learning the Buddha's teachings all the time? You are not mindful. You are learning the worldly ways more and more. Instead of learning the Buddha ways, you are going downwards, spiraling downwards, because you are just watching and getting attached to it. If you're not attached to it, you just switch it off, or you just, you know, go away. But it's not happening that way, right? So what happened is that people have found the formula on ways to get their viewers more engaged, ways to get people more attached to the content, to the things that they offer on social media, okay, to gain more popularity, which will rig up their ranking. And then how they pay on social media, sometimes it's by the viewership, add with the duration, the number of after you have met a number of minimum followers or subscribers, whatever, then you'll be entitled for the monetization. Okay, they found the formula. The only thing that they're attached to is actually the monetary payout every single month. And so what they're doing is that they're teaching you the ways of becoming attached, becoming engulfed in it, and you being unmindful, being unaware, you get sucked into their scheme, right? So what happens next? You waste your time, the few hours every single day that you spend watching the same things on YouTube, right? Watching the same things on TikTok, on Facebook. And instead of using the time to go learn the sutras, instead of using the time to, be aware, be mindful, even sit in meditation. Okay, so it's a lot of time wasters. In this society now, not everybody, I won't say totally nobody, but a lot of people are no longer following the teachings. Okay, if you are aware and you're always following the teachings of the Buddha, even when you are watching television or you're watching these people dancing, you are aware. Okay, you will be able to learn everything that there is based on the Buddha's perspective. Correct, these people are dancing to what? Dancing to this particular song that is like hypnotizing. Everybody is singing the same song over and over again, and it's like all the time. They are continuously broadcasting this song all the time. So many people, they are dancing to this song, and then the dance move are actually the same, and they learn the dance, and then they use the camera. They want to show off to the world of their dance skills, and what is there actually? It is also empty. For me, it is. For me, I don't know. When I look at all these things happening, I just look at the. It feels like desperation when people are showing this way. I know the dance moves are pretty, I'll say, artistic, right? But it's like turning here and there, a lot of sexy moves and things like this. It is art, right? But it can also become something that is stirring up the wrong actions, the wrong kind of messages to your psychology, to your subconscious, right? So if you're not mindful of this, then you will become like, oh, they're so beautiful. Then one day you will just start following what they do. You will become spiraling downwards, and you won't even realize it. Okay, it takes a lot of effort for people to be able to, I would say, detach once you have started in. Okay, a lot of times when we look at the entertainment industry, especially actors, right? When they get a particular script, they are supposed to get into character, something which we call get into character. And when they get into the character, you may feel that if, let's say, the character is one that is about depression, it may get to the point where the actor or the actress, after acting on this particular movie or this drama, then they will suffer emotional imbalance for a long time. Okay, because they have to get into the character, they will need to pretend that they are the person inside the script. They will need to experience all the emotional trauma that the character is required to have. Okay, so if they don't do that, right, if they don't do that, when you watch the movie, it's like, this person doesn't know how to act. Okay, there's no feeling in their acting. But if this person puts himself or herself into the character so much, the consequences can be heavy on the actor or actress, especially if they cannot um, get out of character. Okay, they cannot just observe this as part of their job. All right, they become something which become they become so passionate about their job. Okay, they use the word passion to describe such things. um so the ignorance of what's going on, the ignorance of the consequences, the ignorance of the deep root of such attachment will bring that negative consequences into the person's life. Okay, so when we're talking about always following the teachings of the Buddha, you always have to remember, a lot of times the only thing that we have to do when we want to follow the teachings of the Buddha is as simple as just being an observer. Okay, Master Chin Kong had the fortune of meeting up with the Grandmaster, who told him only 4 words: 看破放下. Okay, you see right through it, and then you let it go. The more you see right through it, the more you let it go. The more you let go, the more you will see through. Okay, it works together, right? So when you see through, oh, this is all fake. Okay, this is all fake. So the only thing that these creators, these people have created was only to get people interested in what they are doing, and then the sole purpose of this was actually to earn money. In fact, a lot of times celebrities will lead a double life, right? In front of the screen is one way, behind the screen is another. Okay, even if they do some kind of live um, videos, okay, or some live broadcast or something like this, all right, they open the live session immediately they tune in into the kind of persona, the kind of personality that the audience likes. Okay, some people say like, oh, he is so cute, all right, because lately I was just turning around Netflix and I discovered this actor who a lot of girls go crazy about. Okay, yeah, he looks a little bit like a mixed blood. I think he is a mixed blood. So every time they gave him some of the most dreamy characters because of his looks and his height, and when you know how phones work, you know how generative AI works, you know how the computer learning works. Okay, so the result of the your activities can actually be captured by your smart gadgets, okay, your electronic gadgets around your house. And when they discover that, they keep showing you content about this particular, they kept showing me content about this particular actor. Okay, and what they do is, oh, he he may have some kind of live sessions. Okay, he'll just turn on his computer, turn on his phone, and then he does a live something like a blog or something for his fans, okay, for those who watch him. And I find that some of the fans, they are, I don't know, too indulged, right? A lot of girls, hmm, I don't know, they can be fans, okay, but a lot of the girls will actually refer him as a husband. Okay, I know that, yeah, right, you idolize this person, and then you have this fantasy, because even guys have fantasies. Okay, so they fantasize about, oh, what's the possibility of seeing this guy in person, about fantasizing about this person as your life partner, your spouse, or your boyfriend or your girlfriend, and things like that. So a lot of I see a lot of all these girls going crazy about him, and then even some of his weirdest traits. Okay, some of the traits that if it was done by somebody that doesn't look like that and not a celebrity, you will call it weird. You will make the person stop, or maybe you will think that, you, what is this guy doing, that kind of, that that kind of reaction. But because he's a celebrity, because he looks like that, then people just embrace, you know because they are too indulged in it. They're too indulged in the character that he was portraying. They were too indulged in his appearance. They were too indulged in him as a whole, right? They become attached to him. So whatever he does, they will think that it is extraordinarily wonderful. And the things that he did was actually quite normal. But because of their attachment to him, then they think that he is the only one capable of being so cute. Okay, that is your attachment. Okay, that is when you are lost. You are not following the ways of the Buddha. Okay, but if you were to follow the ways of the Buddha, then you will be able to realize that, oh, actually he is not more special than anyone else. There are a lot of people in this world who are like him. Okay, it's just that you happen to pay attention to this one person. So I've been babbling about celebrities, about social media. So what is the conclusion of this part? What is the relationship with following the Buddha's teachings, Chang Shui Fo Xue? It means that even in your daily contact with everything that's going on in your life, you should be mindful enough to actually come to a realization of being a third party. Okay, observing like a third party, even if it is happening to you. Okay, like recently, for the past 2 weeks, I did not do any video to address the eighth vow. I will say that I was too busy being attached. I was too busy being, I say, indulged in whatever that's happening around me. Okay, I'm a practicing person. Okay, I am always constantly trying to learn the Buddha's teachings, trying to learn to become a Buddha. So I was disappointed with myself for not being able to do that, because something happened, okay, and it angered me a lot. These things happen in There are a couple of things that happen successively, and each um it is by a group, it's the same group of people, okay. So things happen successively, and every single thing becomes worse than the other, okay. But I was, probably because I was too engrossed in that situation, I was not being mindful. I just became part of that entire situation. You know, if you are not mindful and you are not viewing yourself or the situation in a third party point of view, it feels like you are an ingredient inside a bowl, a massive bowl of soup. Okay, you become part of the ingredients. You are being thrown into that big pot filled with water. Okay, with everything else, it feels that way. Okay, so you are at the same time being cooked as part of the soup if you are not mindful. So after that, I sat by myself. Okay, a lot of emotions, anger, sadness, frustration. Okay, and after a while, I just thought that, but this time it was very fast. I just thought that, why do I need to be in this situation? Right, I don't need to be in this situation. If I were to look at the Buddha's teachings, I will say that all these people, all these ingredients inside the soup was actually, you know, all in together because of karma. Okay, so since all in together because of karma, the entire soup itself is also just a karmic event. Why would I want to put myself to be so indulged in that karmic event? Okay, so I examined my thoughts, and I revisited all these events, successive events that's going on one after another. Then I realized that each of them are actually the manifestation of the karma of those people who has become the ingredient in this big bowl of soup. To be honest, this big bowl of soup is going to turn out really horrid tasting, as everybody can see, right? But who am I to tell the taste of this soup to the ingredients who do not that ingredients do not know the taste of the soup itself? They will just be so indulged in being the ingredient that they don't realize that they are the ingredients inside the soup. So when I look at it from a perspective of a third person, okay, finally I detach myself from the situation, and then it become clear to me, this is just an event, a karmic event. How this happened, then I look back on all the things that the soup ingredient has been doing. So ingredient, I'm so sorry to address people like that, but this is how it looked like. Okay, so all the soup ingredients, the potato, the carrot, the onions, the lettuce, whatever. I don't know what else are there in the soup. Okay, so all these ingredients, they each have a specific kind of behavior, a specific kind of karma. That's why they are brought together that way, right? My going in there was actually as one of the efforts due to the sort of karma that they have, for me to help them solve a question that they had in mind. Okay, and for me to solve this, after I have solved this, I don't know if I will still have the karma to continue, or do they have some other kind of karmic events that I need to go back there to help them. But nevertheless, I have pulled myself out from the pot of soup, and I don't want to become part of the ingredient. So indeed, I will be looking at some other avenues, some other places where I can render my service to. People who need me more, right? Because what happens was that the situation that brought them into what is happening now was due to the manifestation of a past collective karma, and they will need to face the consequences. I should not be indulged, I should not be attached to it. There's nothing much that I can do. In fact, the only thing that I can do as a learner of Dharma is to be an observer, to see and to be able to understand. Okay, while I may be helping them solve the mortal problems, the entire thing happening before my eyes actually teach me about even more about karma and karmic events. Okay, it taught me, I learned a lot of things. Okay, when I view it from the Buddhist teachings, I learned a lot of things, and in fact I felt a little bit foolish for being so angry, for being furious, for being frustrated and deep and it's not depressed. I will say it is like dejected, demotivated. Okay, I just only need to look at the entire situation. If I'm not attached to it, I look at the entire thing. It is just the way that it's supposed to happen. It is as it is. Whatever that they are experiencing is actually part of the manifestation of their karma. Okay, it's not any stir up or anything, right? But they deserve it. Okay, good or bad, they deserve it. In fact, the bad is more than the good because of their karmic seeds that they have planted in the past. And even the Buddha cannot alter with other people's karma. So I will not alter anybody's karma as well. I will not participate in their karma. So I will do whatever that I need to do. But I need to be always mindful that I'm a third party observer. Okay, so this is how my continuous learning journey as a part of my Buddhist practice. Okay, Tantra for me is that way. So at any time at all, if we take back into the principles of meditation, become an observer. Everything in life, we become an observer. We don't become indulged in it. We don't become attached to it. We don't emotionally become part of it, because once we become part of it, we become an ingredient in the big bowl of soup. Okay, the soup may turn out sweet. Congratulations. The soup may turn out sour. Okay, some people like it sour. And the soup may turn bitter. Well, that's just another bowl of soup. Okay, so Tantra Culture continuously learning the Buddha's teachings is this. Okay, at any one time at all, we just stay as observers. As long as we look and examine every single thing with detachment, we are clear and we follow the, if you like to analyze, you call it analysis or you call it interpretation. You interpret or you analyze it based on the Buddha Dharma. Then you will learn. Then you have the clarity to be able to see what is going to happen next. You have the clarity to be able to foretell the future. Okay, it is not some kind of a supernatural power, if you to ask me that thing about foretelling the future. Although, right, drama has made it even more um, mythical, with people like foretelling the future by suddenly going into a different space and a different time. That is dramatic, that is drama, that is movies. But if you want that kind of superpowers in your daily life, okay, you only need to sit and become the observer. You look at every single thing that they're doing, the kind of karmic seeds that they're planting, the kind of things that they are doing. It will show you how the event will turn out. Okay, so Transfer for Shred is not just about meditation, it's not just about holding and reading the Dharma books. It is about you. After your reading, after your practice, you focus your attention, you focus on being the third party observer, be unattached to it. You focus on using what you have learned in the Buddha books to understand the things that are happening to you now. Again and again, it can be a same event, okay? But as you learn, it will give you an even deeper insight. And eventually, you will see through. And then eventually, you will let go. And then the more you let go, the more you see through. The more you see through, the more you will let go. And it will continue to go on as a loop until one day, right, you will say, I dedicate all these merits over to allow every single being that I encounter to go to Western Pure Land with me, to become a Buddha in Amitabha's Pure Land. Okay, so that is 长睡佛学. Okay, there are a lot of other things. Why do I say to will all these merits that we have for the um, migration to Amitabha's Pure Land? Okay, it is all going to be explained in our Infinite Lifetime Sutra. Okay, this is a very long journey. Infinite Lifetime Sutra. I'm only talking. If you are aware, I'm still at the beginning part of the sutra, and even at the beginning part of the sutra is just like within the first few lines that's talking about the audience that were there listening to this Dharma talk by our Lord Gautama Buddha. Okay, so we are only at that part. So we anticipate that there will be many episodes coming in later. Okay, probably in my entire lifetime, I'll only be talking about this sutra this way, right? Later on, if I have time, I can be able to say it for a second time, or maybe even the third time if my lifespan is long enough. But I'll be more than happy if I can complete this only just one time. All right. So 42 minutes. I shall end today's session, and we shall meet again the following. Okay. So until then, remember, be a third party observer and continue chanting Amitabha. See you in the next episode. Bye bye. Amitabha.